All right. Hello to y'all out there tonight. Gonna give you just a quick update on Hurricane Laura and show you what the 10 p.m. Update from the National Hurricane Center is. So let's get right into it. Right now, maximum sustained winds is at 90 miles per hour, so definitely increasing. I think earlier today it was at 80, we're up to 90. The movement is still west-northwest at 17 miles per hour. I've seen a couple of posts up tonight saying that it was turning due north. I did not see that happening. It was wobbles. This is still on a west-northwest trajectory. Now it will turn, and I'll show you why it will turn here in just a second. But right now it's still on the west-northwest at 17 miles per hour. Once again, maximum sustained winds is at 90 miles per hour. This is your wind field. So your yellow is tropical storm force winds. Your brown is hurricane force winds. That both have significantly grown from 2 o'clock when I last did a video. So definitely growing in size and in height. Let's go ahead and look for potential rainfall. This is about the same as it was earlier. So your red is about 10 to 15 inches, I do believe. Yeah, 10 to 15 inches, 6 to 10 in this area. And once again, look at your 6 to 10 still up, almost right in the center of Arkansas. So just because it's a coast storm doesn't mean that your effects are not felt inland. They are definitely felt inland. And one other thing I want to show you, let me get here right quick, go 3 days. This did move a little east, just a little bit. So here's your position at 10 o'clock. This did shift a little bit east. I want you to notice that the cone of uncertainty it was included in all of Houston earlier today. It is now shifted east also. Houston's not out of the woods yet. It is looking better for Houston. I did put out a thing on Facebook, on my Facebook page, which is also Randall's weather page, that the UK Met model, which has been just spot on, best performing model with Laura, it finally moved away from Houston, and it shows the Sabine Pass, Beaumont, Port Arthur landing. So I feel better about Houston tonight than what I did earlier today. Still not out of the woods yet, but I feel better about Houston than what I did earlier today. I'm going to go over, don't want to show that yet. I'm going to go over to tropical tidbits. I want to go ahead and look at the images coming out here. See if we can get this to load up. If you notice, this from the beginning to now, this looks like a prototypical hurricane. You still have a lot of the convection, a lot of the activity on the south end. But it would not surprise me if we see an I form here pretty soon, and this really start to get up and going. Right now, I'll show you the hurricane hunters and what they have found, but it's definitely dropping in pressure. So central pressure right now I think is around 980, and that is down. The pressure is going down. It's going down at a tune of about 2 millibars per hour. That is, that's a lot. That really is a lot. So if you take that, and right now it's 10:30 at night, if you take that and you take 2 millibar pressures down for another, let's say 8 hours, that's a 16 point drop, 16 millibar point drop. You're talking about 960s, and you're talking about category 2 or more, depending on if it's rapid intensification or not. I also put out on Facebook, with the pressures dropping, winds will coincide with that eventually. Your pressures drop first, then your winds drop afterwards. So in the morning, do we wake up and Laura is a Category 2? I think it's a possibility, and we might also see an eye when it comes to Laura. So that's what Laura looks like right now. Definitely has her act together. Let me get out of here. I wanted to show you this. This is the HRR, or the rapid model. This is showing you in the future what this model sees happening with Laura. And as you can tell, this model, which is not a hurricane model, but it is a weather model that meteorologists use for precipitation, what might happen in the future, that sort of model. You can tell this is the simulated satellite. This model takes Laura from where she's at, and by the end, which is now 13 hours later, so 15Z, I believe that is going to be, if I'm not mistaken, I always get this wrong, but I believe that is 3 o'clock tomorrow. This is what this model says Laura will look like in 13 hours. That, my friends, is a classic looking hurricane with a wide eye that still can strengthen even further. It can, don't need to make a sounding of it. But that's what this model sees 13 hours from now. I believe that is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That is classic, absolute classic looking hurricane, if this model proves out to be true. I want to go into aircraft recon. I want to see what they're looking at right now. Let's look at flight level wind speed. This just shows you right now this Hurricane Hunter is in there. Let me go back in here. Let me see. So it looks like 980 is extrapolated. So 980 looks like it might be where the millibar pressure is. Still working on winds right now. Let me back out of here. I want to see the drop zones. I want to look at drop zone number 22, which is one that they just dropped. And basically what this is it's just this this is a radio zone that is dropped down through the hurricane, and it takes readings at certain levels as it falls down. It looks at pressures. So this is flight level pressures at what height. And you go from lower numbers to higher numbers when you go from up in the atmosphere down to the surface. And then it also takes wind speeds. So that's what they're seeing just in this particular drop zone, which is drop zone number 22. What they saw in what they've seen so far looks like it's going to be like a 980 millibar pressure. And once again, that continues to drop. Absolutely continues to drop. So I definitely wanted to show y'all that. I like to get, I'm going to go over here. I want to show y'all kind of why behind where this is going and what's going on. I just want to show y'all. Let me zoom out just a little bit. All right. Let me zoom in just a tiny bit. Zoom in. If it will let me. Okay. I'm gonna put this is the moisture. This is mid-level moisture. So I can see what's moisture, what's dry, and then I want to loop this and I want to loop it for 40 frames. And I just want to show you why the storm is moving the way it's moving and why it will move the way it will. It's good to get an overall picture of what's going on. First off, dry air. Look at this. Look at the way that it's moving. Look at this. Look at the way it's moving. It's moving. That's right. It's moving from southwest to northeast. Look over here. Look what's pushing. This is what's pushing Laura to the west, which is this. You can tell this is dry air, but it's the winds that are pushing it this way. Okay, that's what's pushing Laura to the west. If you notice, there's dry air right here. Dry air has been affecting Laura up until this point, but it looks like Laura has successfully closed off and is kind of creating her own atmosphere at this moment. So this dry air will just get pushed westward as Laura gets pushed westward. Now, as Laura gets pushed westward, as you can tell right here, once Laura catches up with this right here, this is what's going to turn her north and then turn her northwest. Okay? So here pushing west, once it catches up here, this will then turn and push her west. Once Laura catches up with this, right before landing, the National Hurricane Service is saying that this will be shear, and that shear will keep Laura from intensifying a rapid intensification before she hits land. So, as you can tell, pushing westward, then you have this moving north. I like to zoom out just a little bit. You kind of get a good picture of what this looks like, because the atmosphere is fluid. It's like it's almost like liquid. So it's good to see. Here is jet stream. You can tell where the jet stream is right here. Okay. You can see Laura right here getting pushed. High pressure right here pushing Laura westward. This is that dry air. But then you have this right here that is this whole system now that is driving everything north from southwest to northeast. So you'll have that pushing, and then around here there will be a low pressure. It will create a weakness in the atmosphere in between two highs. And then this low will race towards that low. And that's what gets it pulled out. That's what gets Laura pulled to the north and then to the northeast. Try to make it as simple as I possibly can. But just by looking at the dynamics of the atmosphere, you can tell Laura getting pushed this way. You can tell what's going to pick up Laura, what's going to move Laura north and then northeast and then east and then back out to the Atlantic Ocean. It's pretty, for me, it is it's pretty neat to see how storm systems coming off of Alaska and moving across Canada and then dipping down into the northeast can affect this storm that is in the middle of Gulf of Mexico. And how this high pressure is pushing west, how this high pressure is pushing south, and how that weakness in the middle is where this low pressure will go, get picked up and moved. So for me, it's really good. For me, it's neat. It also shows kind of a bigger overall picture of what's going on and what is going to happen. Personally, for me, just in my opinion, I still see Sabine Pass, Beaumont, and Port Arthur, Orange, Texas, Cameron, Louisiana. I rang the bell 2 days ago, almost 3 days ago now, for Houston, for Beaumont, Port Arthur, Orange, Texas, and Cameron, Louisiana. And I'm still sticking to that. Beaumont, Port Arthur, Orange, Cameron, Louisiana, Lake Charles, Westlake, just those areas. This is where your impacts, your biggest impacts are going to be. I feel better about Houston than what I did, which is really good. Hopefully that continues, that trend continues. But what we're going to see is we're going to see a major a major hurricane hit. I think it's going to hit around Beaumont, Port Arthur, shades of Rita, and the effects that will be felt will be Southwest Louisiana. Let's go back over to the storm surge. What's predicted? Once again, 6 to 9 feet over by Beaumont, Port Arthur, 9 to 14 feet. And that is towards Cameron, Louisiana. 7 to 11 feet over an intercoastal city. 4 to 6 feet just east of Morgan City to the mouth of Mississippi, which still is a lot. But this area right here, intercoastal city to Port Arthur, Beaumont, when we're talking about storm surge, the east side of the hurricane is the dirty side. And we call it the dirty side because that's where all the surge, most of the surge and the bad weather, the high winds are. This goes in, as projected, towards Beaumont. Then this area is going to get the surge. And shades of Rita also. National Hurricane Center is saying that the surge can go as far as 30 miles inland. So 9 to 14 feet, 30 miles inland. So if you get that surge in, and then think about it, you have high winds on top of that. So you could have waves on top of the wind. So 9 to 14 feet with waves on top of it, up to 30 miles inland. Just think about that. That is destruction is what that is. So I would tell you, if you're in an evacuation zone, a mandatory evacuation zone, and you haven't evacuated, now is the time to do it. By 8 o'clock tomorrow night will be about the latest that you will have a chance to get out and go. After that, you're going to start seeing some of the effects come in from this hurricane. Wednesday night, or Thursday morning, about 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning is when we should see landfall of Laura. Once again, Beaumont, Port Arthur, Orange, Sabine Pass seems to be where all the models have pretty much landed on. It could still be a little further east or a little further west. Houston's not out of the woods yet, but I do feel better about you tonight. So that's my quick night update. Thank y'all very much. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, my YouTube channel, Randall's Weather Page. You can also get me at Randall's Weather Page on Facebook and Randall's Weather Page on Twitter. So we'll wake up in the morning and see what we have. Laura's always had some surprises for us, so let's see if she'll surprise us again in the morning. All right, thanks a lot. See y'all tomorrow. Bye.